Whether you're rolling a new, nefarious player character, or your campaign just needs a fresh new big bad, here are my top 3 evil tips for nice people. Are you a generally affable and likable person, really struggling to strike fear and terror into the hearts of your fellow players? I relate. I get it. Most people that know me would call me a softie or a teddy bear. I think himbo is the latest one. I don't know how I feel about that. But I have a hard time being anything but a nice dude. But your friends, they want real bad guys. They want convincing villains. That makes them feel good. They get to be the heroes. They get to overcome odds. They get to crush evil under their righteous boot. And so that's your motivation. Help your friends feel good by fighting convincing evil, right? So here are my top 3 most evil tips for big softies like you and me. Number 3, keep it subtle. Unless you're playing an over-the-top, campy campaign, you don't really want to launch into a Machiavellian tirade right out the gate. You know, the best bad guys usually appear to be good guys at first. Maybe your big bad helps the team out initially, you know? Maybe they're a quest giver or a jovial, charming NPC. That kind of double cross will give your villain gravitas. It'll evoke feelings of betrayal and outrage and hopefully anger in your players. Think Cypher from The Matrix or Hans from Frozen. Initially, he's part of the team, and then the double cross comes. One of my earliest and most successful villains was a one-shoed beggar in a large town named Fritz. Fritz sent the party on a quest for his father's sword, telling them that he had lost his father's sword in the sewers beneath the city. He begged them to retrieve the magical heirloom from the fetid depths, and all the payment he requested was to see his father's sword in the hands of a noble hero, righting wrongs and making the world a better place. The party, eager for a little bit of adventure and perhaps some magical loot, leapt at the opportunity. They trekked through the perilous sewers, fighting monsters and avoiding hazards until they got to a large junction in the sewage. As they stepped into the junction, heavy iron gates slammed behind them, trapping them in place. And on the far side of those iron bars was Fritz, laughing merrily, as his 2 pet basilisks ambushed the party and combat ensued. The raucous hoots of outrage and betrayal and surprise and so much profanity and laughter was more than enough payment for the hours of prep work that went into creating a less than obvious villain. This all led to a really gripping and surprisingly complex public execution subplot for Fritz that I hadn't really planned or prepared for. But I went along with it, and it was good. My party was so angry. They wanted justice and probably revenge. A good villain will do that for you. Number 2, give them a real motivation. It can be as complex or as simplistic as you need. Maybe they just want to get rich quick, right? And they see preying on the less fortunate as a shortcut to that. Like a gang leader, or a thug, or a con artist. Maybe they're just hungry and out of other options, Maybe they want to impress their father, the king, by any means necessary. Maybe there's only enough room in your small town for one meat pie maker, and the new guy has got to go, even if that means your villainous chef is going to bake him into a new stuffed pastry. Tasty stuffed pastry. I want to add one caveat here. I like killing or I like to murder isn't really a great motivation for your villain. Okay, that's more like monster or demon or troll territory. That's something that your character kills in the first encounter leading up to a confrontation with your actual villain. I like murder. I like to kill things. It's not scary, it's corny, it's over the top, it's cheap, it's lazy. You can do better. You got better in you, I promise. I wouldn't call that a villainous motivation in the classical sense. That's just like, I'm a tiger. A villain is an intelligent force in your game world, working towards an end that will adversely affect your party or the world they live in. It may even be in direct conflict with their own moral guidelines. Which leads me to my number 1 tip for creating a convincing villain. Number 1, don't act like a villain. And I do mean acting. I've done some acting in my day, and I've had to portray some real creeps on the big and small screen. And I want to pass along what my acting teachers taught me. You can't play the villain. You just can't. No one will believe it. It'll come across corny and hokey. Nothing is less terrifying and less convincing than an over-the-top, hand-wringing, villainous stereotype. Oh, I'll get you, my pretty. No one's afraid of Gargamel except Smurfs. Note to self, Smurf campaign. Smurf campaign, I'm a genius. So how do you do it? How do you portray a convincing villain? Okay, here's the secret. There's no such thing as a villain. At least not in their own minds. Virtually every character in real life, in fiction, the bad guys in your campaign, see themselves as the real heroes of this story. Almost all convincing villains believe in their cause. They believe their actions are justified, if not necessary. Some of them see the people they hurt as necessary collateral damage. Some of them will see your characters as the bad guys. Follow-up note to self, Smurf campaign, but Gargamel is the good guy. They may even use their words to sway your party to their goals, and if you believe in it enough, they might succeed. And that's a fun campaign. A great villain might be a well-respected paladin general in the armies of your land whose unflinching devotion to the letter of the law motivates him to overthrow a kind and lenient king. The crown spares the noose while the streets run red with innocent blood. Would you have us sit idly by while murderers and thieves prey upon those we are sworn to protect? No, I shall not sit idly by. Should the king fail to enforce the laws of this land, then he is no king at all, and he shall be removed. She could be a warlock with a dark secret that knows that doomsday is coming, and she had to make the ultimate sacrifice to protect her homeland. She made a pact with a fiend or a devil, but now her new patron has twisted her heart. Through my studies, I have unraveled a prophecy that will surely doom us all. Fortunately, I have discovered an ally, whispering comforting thoughts from dark places. A beacon of hope from the shadows. Lord Morlock has given me the power to shape our destiny, the destiny of this land and her people. He has chosen me. Your villain could be a collective of kindly old wizards that, through their studies, have divined a way to tell which people are going to kill or murder or steal or kidnap. And so they just started exacting punitive actions on people preemptively, you know? I regret to inform you that it is the decision of this council that you should be confined for the crime of manslaughter, yet to occur 1 fortnight in the future. We have divined the nature of your brutal crime. We have seen the tears of your victim's family, and we have seen the blood on your hands. Please forgive us. We could not allow this kind of violence to occur. If you wish to say goodbye to your loved ones, now would be the most appropriate time. All of these people believe in their causes and can make convincing arguments about their point of view. And that's what makes a really, really great villain. They believe in their cause, and they'll do anything to accomplish their goals. And those are my top 3 tips for bringing a convincing villain to your tabletop gaming nights. So, what did I miss? What did you like? What did you hate? Let me know in the comments below. There's a lot more nerdy tips, tricks, and treats to come, so if you like that kind of thing, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you missed my last video, you can roll for Deliciative and check out the making of the Beholder right here. Last but certainly not least, please go out and support your local game shops. They need you and we need them. Have a good one, friends.